In the far reaches of the galaxy, where law and order are but distant memories, three unlikely allies find themselves drawn together in a deadly game of survival and greed. This is the tale of the stars, the steel, and the shadows. Captain Lance Starlight Mercer stood on the bridge of his starship, the Astrea, gazing out at the endless expanse of space. His armor, though worn from countless battles, was meticulously maintained, and his eyes, sharp with intelligence, scanned the horizon with a sense of purpose. The ship's AI, Sirius, interrupted his thoughts with a series of chirps and beeps. "Captain, sensors have detected an anomaly in the Serpentis cluster. It could be the wreckage of a Confederation treasure ship." Starlight's eyes narrowed. Treasure ships were a rare find, and the Confederation's vessels were rumored to carry vast wealth. "Set a course, Sirius. Let's see what the galaxy has left behind for us today." The Astrea powered up, its engines humming to life as it shot into hyperspace. Starlight couldn't shake the feeling that this discovery would change everything. Across the galaxy, hidden within the shadowy depths of an asteroid field, Colonel Zane Steele Vargos monitored the flickering holographic displays on his ship, the Predator. His reputation as a ruthless bounty hunter was legendary, known in every star system for his unrelenting pursuit of prey. The ship's computer beeped, breaking the silence. "Lock onto that distress signal. We might have some fresh prey," Steele ordered, his voice cold and devoid of emotion. "Coordinates locked, Colonel." "Approaching target," the computer responded. Steele's eyes gleamed with anticipation. "Prepare the weapons. No one escapes the steel." The Predator accelerated, weaving through the asteroid field with deadly precision. Steele relished the hunt, knowing that each capture brought him closer to his ultimate goal, unmatched power and control over the galaxy's lawless territories. In the lawless fringes of space, a cunning smuggler named Tuco Shadows Ramirez piloted his battered freighter, the Wraith, through a hazardous blockade. The ship's alarms blared as laser fire struck the hull, but Tuco's hands remained steady on the controls. "Hold together, baby. Just a little longer," Tuco muttered, coaxing the ship through the chaos. His co-pilot, a jittery young man named Mikey, glanced nervously at the damage indicators. "Shadows, we can't take much more of this," Mikey exclaimed, his voice tinged with panic. Tuco grinned, his eyes twinkling with mischief. "Relax, Mikey. I've got a plan." With a deft maneuver, Tuco guided the Wraith into a narrow asteroid crevice, losing their pursuers in the dense field. The ship emerged on the other side, battered but intact. "See? Piece of cake," Tuco said with a wink. "Now, let's find out what's so valuable that everyone's willing to kill for it." The Serpentis cluster loomed ahead, a treacherous region filled with cosmic debris and the remnants of ancient battles. As the Astrea approached the anomaly, Starlight's sensors picked up two other ships converging on the same coordinates. "Looks like we have company, Sirius," Starlight remarked, his hand hovering over the weapon controls. "Incoming transmission from the Predator," the AI announced. Steele's face appeared on the screen, his expression as cold and calculating as ever. "Mercer. I should have known you'd be here. Back off, this treasure is mine." Starlight smirked. "Finders keepers, Steele. But if you insist, we can settle this the hard way." Before Steele could respond, a third signal cut through the airwaves. Gentlemen. There's no need for hostilities," Tuco's voice drawled. "Why don't we split the treasure and go our separate ways?" Starlight and Steele exchanged a wary glance. They knew Tuco's reputation for deceit, but the stakes were too high to ignore. "All right, Shadows," Starlight said. "But any tricks, and you're the first to go." "Agreed," Steele added, his eyes never leaving the screens that tracked the Wraith's position. "No tricks, Shadows, or you'll find yourself floating home." Tuco's voice came through with a chuckle. "Wouldn't dream of it, boys. Let's make this a profitable endeavor for all of us." The three ships navigated cautiously through the serpentous cluster, their senses attuned to every piece of floating debris and hidden danger. The anomaly's signal grew stronger, guiding them to a desolate planet orbiting a dying star. The planet's surface was scarred with craters and littered with the remains of ancient starships. The trio landed in the shadow of a colossal wreck, its hull emblazoned with the emblem of the Confederation. Starlight exited the Astrea first, his armor gleaming under the pale light. Steel followed, his weapons at the ready, while Tuco emerged last, a sly grin on his face and a blaster loosely holstered at his side. "Let's get this over with," Steel growled. "The treasure's inside. Stay sharp." The trio ventured into the wreckage, their footsteps echoing through the hollow corridors. They moved cautiously, knowing that betrayal could come at any moment. Deep within the bowels of the ship, they found a massive vault, its doors sealed shut by a complex locking mechanism. Starlight stepped forward, examining the control panel. "Looks like a multi-phase encryption," he said. "I can crack it, but it'll take time." Steel nodded, his eyes scanning the darkness for any threats. "Do it. Shadows and I will cover you." As Starlight worked on the encryption, Tuco and Steel kept their weapons drawn, eyes darting between the shadows. The tension was palpable, each man knowing the others could turn on him at any moment. Minutes stretched into an eternity before the vault doors finally creaked open. Inside, they found crates filled with precious metals, rare gems, and alien artifacts. The wealth was staggering. Tuco let out a low whistle. "Well, boys, looks like we've hit the mother lode." Steel's eyes gleamed with greed. "Let's divvy it up and get out of here." As they began loading the treasure, Starlight's instincts screamed a warning. He turned just in time to see Steel raising his weapon. "Not so fast, Mercer." "I'm taking it all," Steel said, his voice cold as ice. Before Steel could fire, Tuco sprang into action, drawing his blaster with lightning speed and firing a shot that disarmed Steel. "You forget, Steel, I'm the best there is at double-crossing." Steel snarled, lunging at Tuco, and the two men grappled, their fight fierce and unrelenting. Starlight seized the opportunity, grabbing his own weapon and taking cover behind a crate. The vault became a battleground, blaster fire ricocheting off the walls. Starlight aimed carefully and shot the control panel, causing the doors to begin closing. "We're running out of time," Starlight shouted. "Get the treasure and move." With a final, desperate push, the three men grabbed as much treasure as they could carry and sprinted for the exit. They barely made it through as the vault doors slammed shut behind them. Back on the surface, the trio hurried to their ships, each man eyeing the others warily. Starlight loaded his haul onto the Astrea, ready to launch at a moment's notice. "Pleasure doing business with you, gentlemen," Tuco said, his grin never faltering. "Next time, Shadows, I won't be so lenient," Steel warned, climbing aboard the Predator. The ships lifted off, parting ways in the dark expanse of space. Starlight set a course for the nearest neutral trading post, his mind already calculating the value of his share. In the vast, lawless reaches of the galaxy, alliances were fleeting and trust was a luxury few could afford. For Captain Lance Starlight Mercer, Colonel Zane Steel Vargos, and Tuco Shadows Ramirez, the treasure they had claimed was a testament to their cunning and resolve. As their ships disappeared into the stars, each man knew that their paths would cross again. In a galaxy where the lines between good, bad, and ugly were blurred, survival meant always staying one step ahead of the competition. And so, their saga continued, written in the annals of space and time, a tale of greed, betrayal, and a relentless pursuit of fortune.